Hello, my fellow beaders. This week I have earrings, and guess what? I'm not using super duo beads. I know I've done a lot of designs for the past several weeks using super duos. I decided to take a little break from the super duos. Not that there's anything wrong with super duos, I just thought it might be fun to try something else. So today, and these are beads you probably have in your stash, so I'm using 4mm bicones. This color is Cobalt Blue AB. And it is from Crystals and Beads for Friends.com. That is the website. That is actually the name of the website. It's Crystals and Beads for Friends.com. And I will have all of this in the show notes. So in the description section below the video. Look there. I'll have a link and everything. They're 4mm. And again, the color is Cobalt Blue AB. You'll need 28. Is what you need to make a pair. So 14 per earring. The other color I have is I believe this is Galvanized Yellow Gold. These are my Yuki 11O beads. And these are from Aura Crystals. I generally have been getting all of my seed beads from Aura Crystals. So if I'm using it on my Yuki 11, it's probably from Aura Crystals. And then I used about, a 6-pound fireline is my thread, and I used the crystal this time. And I'd say I used about 18 inches or so, not very much. Thread is needed per earring. You could probably grab, if you're someone who likes to reinforce quite a bit, you could use a little bit more. So maybe use 24 inches, which is about 2 feet. And a couple of ear wires, and you're all set. That is all you need. So go dig out those bicones, or also you can use a different 4mm bead. You could use a fire polish or a pearl from a round. I don't know if this will work as well as rondelles. I haven't tried it with rondelles, and because they're 3x4, there's a slight variation in the millimeters, and so stick with the 4mm bead to do these. Okay, that's it. So let's get started. To begin our earrings, what you want to do is start by picking up 2 of the 11O beads, then a 4mm, then 2 11Os, your 4mm, and so forth until you have 4 sets. So you should have 8 of the 11O beads and 4 of your 4mm. In my case, it's going to be bicones, and from now on, I'll just say bicones. But the next step is to tie a knot. And I'm just going to, and again, I do these pretty much in all the videos. I'm just going to tie a symbol, square knot. I don't want a super long thread, so I'm trying to shorten my thread here. Or my tail end, I should say, not shorten the thread, but the tail. So I'll just leave it at that, and I'll finish my knot. And just trying to make sure also that it is between the right 2 beads. Because you know what happens with knots, especially when I'm trying to do them while recording, is they don't fall into place. Anyway, you should have a little diamond-shaped ring like this. And then I'm going to go into the bicone. So my knot here is between the 11 and the bicone, and since the bicone has a bigger hole, it's best to go through that and then continue into the next 11. And I'm not reinforcing this time around because we'll actually be going through these beads a couple more times, so no need to reinforce because we'll be doing that as we continue. Now pick up an 11 and go into the next 11, the bicone, and 11 after that. So 3 of the beads. And you should get like a picot like that. And I'm gonna zoom in a little so it's better a little easier to see. And we're gonna repeat this 3 more times. So again, pick up the 11, go through the 11, the bicone, and the 11. Okay, 2 more left. Once again, 11. Then continue through the next 11 bicone 11. And now that we are back to just about where we started, here's what the piece should look like. Okay, now once again, last time, pick up an 11 and continue through the 11, the bicone, and the 11. And then you actually want to come out of the 11 that is sticking out like that and part of the picot there. And that is what you should have for this part. And I'm actually going to go ahead and trim the tail thread just to kind of get that out of the way. And now go ahead and continue forward. As I said, this is our next round that we're going to do. So continue forward. And this time you want to come out of a bicone. So go through the next 11 and then exit out of the bicone. Pick up 3 11s, like so, and then go back around just the bicone. And if you bead tight, then you will notice that the hole to the bicone might be slightly blocked, so just shift it a little bit to get your needle through. And so you're gonna get these 3 11-ohs that are just sitting around the bicone. Now what I want you to do is push it, make sure there's no slack, and then also push it towards the center. And then we are gonna go through all these 3 11s and come out of the next bicone. So since this is at an angle, I'm gonna do it 2 of the 11s first, and then the next 11 and the bicone after that. And that should make it a little bit easier to get through into position to add the next set of beads. If it isn't, you can also, as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm going to shift these up a little bit so they will go through. And see, this is why I didn't want to reinforce, because I knew we were going to be making multiple passes through these beads. Ah, there we go. Got into the right alignment, and then it works just fine. And you're going to repeat. So again, pick up 3 11-oh beads and just go through just the bicone by itself. And then push those beads towards the center. So if you push them towards the center and then pull on the thread, that should help them stay in position. And again, you want to then continue forward. Go through 2 of the 11s first, then go through the third 11 there and the bicone. And we're going to repeat this again. So once again, and over here are my beads up here. So I realized that they shifted. So again, I'm picking up 3 of the 11s and just going back around my bicone. Push it towards the center and then tug on the thread. So it's okay if it kind of pops up. We're going to connect them all together in a little bit. So, but let's finish up this next step. So again, I'm going through 2, then the next 11 and the bicone, and then 3. Pick up my last set of 3 11s and going through the bicone again. And again, I'm going to push them towards the center and give it a tug. Okay, for the next step then, what you're going to do is continue into those 2 of those 11s that are now attached to the bicone. So I'm going to go through 1 and 2 right there. And I'm going to move my finger out of the way here. Okay, so I'm coming out of that center 11 essentially in the group of 3. And what I'm going to do is connect all of those together now, those loops. So pick up 1 11 and then go into the next 11 that is in that group of 3. And again, repeat. So pick up an 11, and you can see my group of 3 is sitting over there. So I'm just going to push it gently towards the center and then go through just the middle 11. And now I'm going to turn it and get this next group. Pick up an 11 and go ahead and get this next one. You're back in the middle there. And one last time, we got 1 more to connect. Pick up the 11 and get that middle 11 there. And you just tighten up, and then you can go through the beads again. So I'm just gonna go through them again just to reinforce. And so probably gonna do this 2 at a time. And trying to be careful I don't miss anything. And so here's the next set of 2. And I think I've basically gone all the way around. Ooh, I am slowly moving out of frame, trying to not do that. And so here's what you should have. Here's what it should look like. Now, and I realized I just went into one of the beads that's on the side. So let me just back out so I can make sure that it makes sense to you. All right, so I am coming out. If you notice, this 11-0 where the thread is exiting is actually one of the center beads that we put over the bicone. So now just come down this bead on the side, like so, and then you're going to go into the bicone. So once you've reinforced, you can come down and we're going to make our way back to the outer ring essentially. So there, now I'm in the bicone. And now I'm going to go through the first 2 11-0 beads. And let's see if I can find the right angle. So if you're a beginner, this might be a little bit tricky, and what you have to do is just wiggle around and get your needle right where it needs to go. And there it is. So this doesn't mean that there's too much thread or anything, or the beads are going to break or anything like that. It's more about angles and position. All right, now I'm in position for the next part. And for this, I'm going to pick up a bicone, an 11, and then a bicone, and I'm going to connect. So you see I'm coming out of that middle 11 of this group of 3. I'm going to connect to the next middle 11 there. And then I'm going to repeat, start with the bicone first, then an 11, and then another bicone, and go into the next. And you can kind of get these So slightly, they're gonna sit down a little bit. And then bicone 11. And bicone again. And into the next 11 there. And one last time. We gotta get into this one where we started. So bicone 11 and bicone into this next 11 right there. And then continue forward into the bicone. Okay, so this is what the component should look like at this point. Now we're gonna make this feel, this should feel fairly firm, but we're gonna make this a little bit more firmer. And so for this next step, you're gonna pick up 3 11s, skip over the 11 and go into the next bicone, like so. And then pick up an 11 and go into this next bicone. And then again, so you're gonna be alternating between 3 11s and 1 11. Now pick up 3 11s and go into the next bicone. Pick up an 11 and go into the next bicone again. And now it's time for 3. Three 11s. One 11 and into the next bicone. So you're just going into bicones. Okay, we are at the last set, and this time it's going to be 3. And 1 for this lot. This part, and then continue forward until you get to the middle 11. And I'm just gonna give it a little tug to get that all this straightened out. Okay, so the next part is there's a little piece over here. We're gonna make this part here with the bicones, and then of course the loop for the ear wire. And so I'm gonna pick up an 11, a bicone, and then 3 11s, and then another bicone, and another 11. And I'm just gonna go around just that central 11. And there is our piece. And this is also what the back looks like. You're gonna get a little bowl, concave. It's concave shape of the earring. So, but this should be, if you bead it this nice and tight, this should all be very secure. Now continue forward. And you want to come out of this middle 11 in this group of 3 11s at the top. And of course, if you've watched my videos in the past, we're going to make our diamond ear wire shape. So to do that, you pick up 4 11 beads. And then continue into the first 11. So you pick up 4 11s. I'm sorry, I didn't really speak that correctly. So pick up 4 11s and you go back through just that central 11. Then go into the next 11 in that group of 4. And now you're going to be adding 11s. And so pick up 1, go into the next 11. Yep, make sure you don't wrap around anything. Then again, pick up another one, go into the next 11 there, and then pick up the third one, and you're going to go into the next 2 11. So basically we're coming back to where we started, as you can see. And there is our completed earring. Now I'm going to reinforce and then tie off. So first I'm going to reinforce this loop. So I'm going to go through 2 of the beads at a time because everything's at an angle. Two again. And I'm turning the work as I go just because it's easier on my wrist. And so I'm going to go through the 2 over here. And there we are, we got through the 2. And now back to the last 2. Okay, that's all been reinforced. Now what I'm going to do is come down the side here. And so I'm going to come down this group here. So the 11, the bicone. Then the next 11, and then that center 11. And now you can tie off. So I'm going to go through the next 11. And then tie a half hitch knot here between the 11 and the bicone, and we can tug the knot into the bicone. Make that go through the loop and then just tighten up. And that's perfect. The knot is between the 2 beads, and then we go forward. And this will pull the knot into the bicone. And then go into the 11. And repeat. So I generally do 3 knots. You don't have to do 3, you can just do 2. I think we've gone through it multiple times, so the thread should be relatively secure when we've done the reinforcing and everything. All right, I'm gonna go into the next bicone. And then through this 11 here. And last time I'm going to tie 1 more knot. Ew, having a hard time finding my little thread. So, okay, so let's just not do it there, and I'll do it here. So continue forward in the bicone and the 11. Make it easier on myself. And I will tie the knot here between this 11 and the bicone. And then weave the thread away from the knots. And we trim. And there's my ear wire. So I'm just gonna pop that in. So I'm using a French hook, so this should be easy to pop in. Okay, well, here are the completed earrings. I hope you like them, and I will see you in the next one.